Hello, this is A Demonic Wizard on Twitch, ADemonicShadow for literally everything else. This is here to just give you another video on the Division. This is actually how big is the Division. Well, it's beta, and my first impressions, just so there's something playing on while I'm just running from one end to the other. As you can see, I do have a clock just to have a timer of just how long it takes to get from one end to the other. Here's the map. Of course, there's sewers and undergrounds and subways that you can also go to, so this isn't the full-fledged only thing of the world, and I kind of wish you can go down to like another level and see those, but this is actually the full beta access that we have right here, which I want to say accounts for 20% of the map. So that's pretty big for beta, and I can't actually wait for the full-fledged game and its releases. But where I'm going to be going is from the very start of the game, where you first start, to necessarily this DZ entrance, which if in the beta it would take me it's blocked, sorry, excuse me. If the game was fully out, it would actually take me out of the PvP area and into the PvE area, or the DZ. I will avoid all combat just to not tether the time, and hopefully I don't die. I do have survival abilities, and I'm actually going to equip right now just to make sure that I avoid, just to keep me alive and avoid combat. Excuse me, let me just equip that. Some radical sand. If you're looking for more detail on how the beta works and everything like that, I do have another video which will be linked, and one of the notifications that pops up on your screen, if you have that turned on, I will also leave it in the description in case you have any questions about how the beta works, how the game works, and everything like that. So let me go ahead and start this, and also we'll be sprinting. Now, my first impression of the game is, of course, when you first start, you're making your character, which isn't fully unlocked, so I'm not really upset about the character customization because it's not available to us. But at the same time, at least for me, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be really looking at your face all the time. Yes, it's cool to have it, but it doesn't need to be in depth for every game. Excuse me. One of the things I did appreciate, or one of the things I did notice, is that the game itself was downgraded from its first presentation, which, I mean, that sucks that that did happen, but the game still looks amazing. It's still pretty cool. I do love the weather effects and the graphics. I just, mainly because of beta, there's some, not only see some glitches on the textures or anything like that, but sometimes when you're in a hub, everything disappears, and sometimes it doesn't. So there's just small bugs and stuff like that. Nothing too major. I didn't have any connection issues, which were surprising, and I do want to give a shout out to Division for doing that. I was never dropped from connection. Actually, no, never mind. I was actually dropped twice. Outside that, I had very minimal problems getting online and when the servers are up and staying online. And no, I didn't have any drops in frames. I didn't get stuck in the wall. My friend did. Outside that, I didn't have any other problems with that. So that was cool. I do love the gameplay of the game. I do love the combat system and the cover system and how the abilities are used. I really do love it. I'll just showcase one right now for like the scans and stuff like that. This is the one that just scans and shows you what they do, and you can actually modify and change them, how, you know, a scan would work. And once again, if you want to know more about that, I do have a how the Division works video that you can actually view, and it goes in depth. So far, the only complaints that I really have is, as you can see here, running. I hate there's fast travel, and so far in the beta, you can only fast travel to 3 things. It is your hub, which I started from. It's your base of operation, which I already ran past, and then there's your friends. You can fast travel your friends if they're not in DZ area. Outside that, if you die while doing, like, not on the mission or submission because they have checkpoints, but if you're doing like an event in the world and you die, you spawn from your base of operation and you have to run all the way back there. There's also these contaminated zones, which I'm not fully sure what they do, or what they don't do, or what necessarily happens in the areas, because you have to wear a mask, and the mask has its own bar, which I'm not entirely sure what it does, and that's unfortunately one of the things I forgot to tell in the description of how the beta works, but you know, oh well. Outside that, I really did enjoy it. I did love the DZ. That's probably my all-time favorite part. It has the greatest high risk, high reward. You can go in there, be in there for a few hours, get good gear, and then lose it all at the instant. Either not listed to your friends, because if you're in a party, when they leave, it gives you there's I believe a 5-second timer before you can actually before they actually do leave, and you can actually fight them and kill them. There is. You can, but at the same time, you can also enter the DZ area for the first time, kill a person who has good stuff, and then evacuate it. And then been in there for 5 minutes and have some really good gear. So I really do love that. I do love how if you kill someone, you become rogue and you become marked on the map, and it makes it easier for other people to find you, and get revenge on it if someone actually killed you and took your stuff, and you can get your stuff back. Because in order to actually claim it, because it's contaminated, you have to get the item and get it out of the area, which does take some time. So there's plenty of time to necessarily lose the stuff you got from the person or get your stuff back. So I will definitely be heavy on that. No, at least for me, when it came to the Division, I did love how the game was presented. I do love what they're doing with it, and I do appreciate that. The only thing that really had me worry about the Division, at least in my shoes, is that it was made by Ubisoft, which tends to have not very good launches, especially with online games, with their Uplay and everything like that. But with the beta, I'm more confident that the game's going to be coming out smoothly, and I will be able to do necessarily a 24-hour run if I can with the Division and just playing this, you know, for a day. I do love how I kind of wish there was more DZ entrances, because people tend to all be huddled up at the DZ area when you necessarily enter it. So I'm worried that I might die here. But other than that, everything else is located on your map and everything like that. I do appreciate the game in this gameplay. The guns, you can mod them, you can customize them, you can get skins for them. I do really love that. The abilities you can change and customize a little bit. I do love that. Your parents you can change and customize. I do love the ranking system. There's just little things I don't like. I kind of wish there was more indoors that you can go into. Yes, you can go into some buildings, but not necessarily a lot. I kind of wish there was a little bit more. I also wish there was a flashlight, because I mean, in some areas it gets dark, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get like a weapon mod where you can use a flashlight. I think that would be pretty cool, and you know, tactical and stuff like that, because I've seen enemies have it, and I think that would be something you can kind of do in tactical. Yes, it's not going to make you invincible if you throw the flashlight in front of someone's face, but at least for snipers they can get headshots and stuff like that. But outside that, I really do love it. The party system works fine. The ability system works fine. I'm really curious on how building your base is, because when you're in your base, it's your own private base and you can't see other players. So I'm assuming that's just because you're building your base. It could be because your base is different just because you're upgrading more. But I definitely want to see what all the perks do and what they do. I definitely want to see more on what your upgraded bases do, because there are things in your base that you necessarily can't use because it's not available to the beta, and necessarily you have to upgrade it to get used to it. So I'm curious on what they do to you, and for adding, you know, benefits to your gameplay that you necessarily would want to upgrade it, and you know, keep it up to date. Just how long it takes to get to the max level, the max DZ rank, and everything like that, and what's unlocked, if they're gonna actually slow progression or increase possession or something like that. I'm really curious. Unfortunately, I am coming to some conflict here. I'm gonna try to avoid it the best that I can. As you see here, I'm currently reaching my target area. I avoided all combat, which was pretty cool. But if you definitely want to see more of my opinion on it, this actually is in the safe zone. Oh shit, that was my fault. But it took about 7 minutes, 7 minutes 40 seconds. But that's just going from here to Nestle, my destination of here, fully sprinting. I didn't have any type of abilities to where I run faster or anything like that. But I do definitely appreciate this game. As you saw there's people who are rogue. I guess I'll show a little bit of combat until I die. Another thing I did like about this game is that there are no loading screens technically. When you go into your base of operation, you slow down, but that's just a loading screen. When you're in elevators, there's a little bit of loading screen. When you go and leave the DZ area, there's a bit of loading because it's not instant, but it's once again like a few seconds, and your character is opening a door. So I thought that was pretty smooth for MMO, not having these loading screens, which I thought was pretty cool. You can see here, there's an extraction area. Someone is trying to extract their stuff out and get out of here. So that's what they're doing, and that's one of the things I didn't like about the game, is that the buttons are changed. The shoot by default is L2 and R2. Shooting and aiming, I like it when it's R1 and R2, and there's no setting in there to change it. You kind of have to use the PlayStation 4's ability to change any button to any other button. But you can see here that these people are marked rogue. I'm gonna try to claim the bounty on their head. That there being quite a few of them, I'm probably not going to, but it doesn't hurt to try. I don't have any contaminated items, which you can tell you have because there'll be a yellow bag and other players can see it. I also don't know what the contaminated zones do or what they don't do. So look, there's some people here, and they're not necessarily hostile, but they can be at any given time. So I'm gonna try to go around and get the jump on, and then if I die, it's whatever. So even though they summoned the helicopter, I can also use it. Oh, well, I kind of figured I was gonna die. But when you die, it shows you how much experience you lost in your DZ rank and everything like that. It shows you their level, their weapon, and everything like that. And then you can actually respawn and try to claim your stuff, or respawn and go away. This is probably the only loading screen you'll actually see in the game. Outside, if you're teleporting to your friend, or when you actually die, it's respawn. Other than that, there really isn't. You can also restart missions at any given time in a harder difficulty, which I thought was pretty cool. But outside that's personally my first impressions and just how big the beta is. So I do want to thank you if you did watch. You can go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, definitely post them, and I'll definitely get to them as soon as I can. But other than that, until the next video, until the game's out, which I'm gonna be playing all month when it comes, Demonic out.